is headed back. Immediate medical assistance needed. Rogue seeker mine detected.
Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and we are back with another build video for TU8 in the Division 2. If you've watched me for any length of time, you'll probably know that I'm big into healing builds, and I can easily say that this is the best one that I've made in the Division 2 so far. And a lot of that just comes down to the skill tier changes, and a lot of the other changes they made revolving skills in this update. I'm super pleased with how it's been performing so far, so I wanted to share it with you guys so you can start putting your own spin on it and helping out your team with a lot of heals. It's probably important to preface that this works great in PvE and PvP, so that's definitely a nice bonus. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? I'll start with my gun. So I'm using a Pestilence for my primary, and that is because I think that it is a very nice utility gun that the healer can run to just give the rest of your team a nice bonus. So what it does now, if you don't know, basically when you hit people, it puts stacks on them that gives them a bleed type status effect. And so the more you shoot them, the more damage that'll do. So I think the two big choices here for your primary are either the Pestilence or the Bullet King, depending on what you're doing. I think Pestilence is probably better for PvP, but I think if you're doing like Legendaries or the Raid or some type of high-end PvE content, then the Bullet King would be better because you can just constantly suppress enemies while the rest of your team that's running damage can reload and all that kind of stuff. So Pestilence is what I'm running there. Let's move on to the secondary. I'm just running a CTAR. Basically, you can run any gun, but the important thing is that you want the Reformation talent on there so that you can get that plus 30% extra skill repair once you hit a headshot. That's just a nice thing to have if you need an extra burst of healing. Not that you're going to, because the heals on this are already super great, but if you need it, you can just pull this out and get extra skill healing. And then the sidearm doesn't really matter. I just have preservation on here, but you can really run whatever you want. So then, moving on, I am using 4-piece hardwire. That's definitely the best thing to run right now for skill builds, in my opinion. But I'm using the mask, obviously one skill tier, and then skill repair, and that's just what I have on all of them. For the chest piece here, I'm using Alps, one of 2 pieces. And I have one skill tier on there, health, which I would want something else, but that's what I have for now. Skill repair, and then a skill repair mod. And I have empathic resolve, which is, if you don't know, when you repair an ally, it increases their total weapon damage, and in my case by 15% for 10 seconds, and 7% for myself. And that's because I'm running 6 skill tiers. So it's a very nice talent, just gives your team a lot of extra damage. It's very nice in legendaries and that kind of stuff. So I would definitely choose to run that over something like Overwatch or another talent like that. Empathic is definitely best in slot talent, in my opinion, for this build. So then for the holster, another hardwired piece, skill tier, and max skill repair. For the backpack, I have another piece of Alps. I don't know if there's another one-piece brand that would necessarily be better than Alps, but for now, that's just what I'm running. I have a skill tier, status effects, max skill repair almost, and a skill repair mod, and I'm using Energize for my talent, which isn't necessarily the best because the only time I'm using an armor kit is when my heals are down, so I'm not really getting the benefit of the overcharge. But there's not really a lot of great healing backpack talents. There is definitely Safeguard, which is, if you don't know, 100% extra repair when you're at full armor. But since I'm already basically one-tapping all of my teammates with one Hive charge gets them all the way to their maximum armor, I don't really need that bonus. So I figured this would be better, but, you know, not getting a ton of benefit from it. You can really run whatever talent you want here on the backpack. So then moving on to the gloves, another hardwired piece, of course, one skill tier and skill repair, and then for the knee pads, the same deal. So then let's move on to the heals, so you can see exactly how much I'm getting. I am at 6 skill tier, so obviously my stats are going to be reflected in that. You can see tier 6 right there. I have 9 charges of ammo on here. I don't know why it says 8, but I have 9, so it's quite a bit. And the overtime repair in PvE is 234,000, obviously a lot, and in PvP, half of that at 117,000. So I was running with some people in the DZ who had, you know, no blues on their build, so 650-some thousand armor, and they were getting almost one-ticked by this up to full armor. So it's definitely very potent. Moving on to the Hive, which is the main group heal for this one. 36 charges, quite a bit. The PvP healing per charge is 232,000, and in PvE is 380,000. And shoots out quite fast now that they reworked kind of how the speed of that works, so it's definitely a very nice heal to run. It keeps your team healed up as long as you keep those charges up. And you can definitely pick up the Hive before it runs out, so you can start recharging those before it goes on cooldown. It's definitely a very nice tip to have. And for the specialization, this is where one of the big choices for this build comes into play. You can either run Survivalist like I am, or you can run Technician. So basically the choices are Survivalist, you get plus 15% outgoing healing to your teammates, which is why I'm running it. Whereas Technician, you get plus 1 skill tier, so you could run an extra roll of damage or armor somewhere else on your build, as well as you get plus 10% skill healing. So you'll get slightly less healing if you do Technician, but you can spec into another role, or you can get the most optimum healing with Survivalist. So it's really up to you and whichever weapon you like more, I guess. So yeah, that's about all there is for the build. Well, the secret's out now. You guys can go make your super strong healer build and hopefully take on some of the new Warlords content a lot easier. I have no doubt that the upcoming second raid is going to require more than just damage builds this time around, and I wouldn't be surprised if a good healer is among those. So even if you're not planning on using it immediately, it could still be very beneficial for you to make it. But what do you guys think about it? Let me know how you feel about the build and healers in general down in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Reminder that my 1K subscriber giveaway is still going on, so be sure to check the channel for the video with entry details. I'll also leave it in the description for you all to check out. I'm going to play the rest of the footage I've got. I hope you all enjoy, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold, out.
Let's get 'em, boys.
Minigun power restored. Minigun power restored. Minigun power